What's up, synthesizers? Coyote Moon here, founder and chief visibility officer of Synthesis Agency, and I am back with your daily drop. And today is a really special daily drop because we are exactly 6 weeks away from 2025. So what that means for you as an artist is this is not the time to kick back. This is actually the time for you to think about how you're going to build momentum and clarify what it is you want to achieve in 2025. So this episode is going to be dedicated to giving you 3 really simple actions you can start working with now to build that momentum. So number 1, I want you to sit down and actually set some goals for yourself. A lot of artists I talk to don't really have a clear roadmap in mind as to how they are building their career. If you want to get a really head start in 2025, I really recommend that you sit down and outline some of these clear goals that you have for next year so that you have something to work off of, something to build towards. Some of these things could be like an album release or maybe getting a mix out a month. Perhaps you're going to really focus, let's say, on your social media channels and growing your Instagram or starting up a YouTube. The point is to get some things down that are very clear directives and a place for you to focus your energy and really ask yourself, okay, this is what I want to achieve in 2025. And you can go even a step further and then start breaking some of these down into smaller incremental steps and goals, which really helps, by the way, to give yourself some accountability. Like, hold yourself accountable for some of these goals that you have. And getting them down on paper, writing them down is essential to seeing, okay, this is where I want to go. Here's point A, here's point B, and looking at everything you need to do in between. But before 2025 gets here, you don't want to start this process January 1 because the momentum will have not been building. This really will help you start to put your ducks in a row in these next few weeks and think about, what are the tools and resources I'm going to need to achieve these goals? What are the mindset shifts might you need to make in order to achieve these goals? What other people or community or collaborators can you start to build some relationships with in order to achieve these goals? Where are you going to have to up-level some of your own skills in order to achieve these goals? So you see how this starts to give you that high-level vision of where you're going. So spend some time now mapping out those things step by step. Now, number 2 thing that you can do right now that's actually really easy, and I'm going to guess for a lot of you is probably a place where there might have been a little bit of block in the past, and that is consistency and getting consistent now with your social media, with your processes in production, with how you release your music, things like that. It's all about starting to develop these consistent processes and practices. If that feels overwhelming to think about, I want you to focus first on your social media and your online presence. And I want you to be really honest where you haven't been consistent and giving it your all. This is an excellent time, especially, let's say, if things are a little bit crickets or quiet and there's not a whole lot going on. This is the time to start building momentum into 2025. A lot of people wait until they have something to promote. And this is actually how people end up kind of sabotaging themselves and working backwards. So if you're going to want to really blow up in 2025 with your career, I highly suggest that you start nurturing your channels and nurturing your pages consistently. And that's going to lead right into number 3, which is exactly what I just said: nurturing your fan base, nurturing your audience, making your connections, and doing all of that stuff now. So go back to your goals. Go back to your goals. And honestly, I suggest that you look at them every day between now and 2025. Look at them and ask yourself every day, what action can I take to move me closer to this now? Not in 2025, but to start moving towards it now. And so, for example, in part 3 here, of just really thinking about how you're going to nurture your audience and grow that audience, look at who's already there. Look at the people who are already paying attention. Look at who you want to be connected with And this can go for fan base, this can go for network, promoters, labels, other artists, collaborators, potential people you can work with in 25. But this is the time to build those relationships and those connections. This isn't the time to sleep on it. So to recap these 3 things, we want you to sit down, really outline vision, goals. What are you trying to achieve? What does that roadmap look like? Even get a little brave and put some timelines assigned to some of these goals. So you have a picture and a structure of what your 25 is going to look like in terms of a timeline. Number 2, get consistent. Get consistent on your social media pages. Get consistent in your process and how you're going to implement things, and really looking at how you can create some systems for yourself so that doing all these things you want to do in 2025 isn't going to slow you down, isn't going to be difficult to implement. But the first thing is that consistency piece. So getting really consistent on your social media channels is essential right now. This is going to help you so much. And if you don't know where to start, I want you to just pick one platform for the next 6 weeks to get consistent on and start building some momentum there. And the last thing, number 3, is your relationships, your networking, your connection, nurturing your fans, nurturing your audience. Building those network connections now, reaching out to people who are going to be instrumental and helpful in you achieving your goals. So I hope these 3 tips give you a really good place to start and to really motivate you to go hard for these next 6 weeks. And if you found this one helpful and you want to get another artist friend on board for this next 6 weeks of daily drops that are going to really help build you some momentum into 2025, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like it. Make sure you share it with that artist friend. Bring someone with you along on this journey. It is so much easier when you have that accountability and help. But you can always tune in here. We're going to be building momentum all the way into 2025 with daily drops of tips, resources, wisdom, guidance, inspiration, motivation to fuel you and get you into 2025 ready to blow up your career. All right. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.